Hello and welcome everyone, this is Type V3 with a review of one of the greatest robot partnerships of all time. This is the Transformers Generations Optimus Prime and Autobot roller, as they're depicted in the IDW comic universe. Starting with their alt modes, and I just gotta say, these two look solid. Optimus Prime is instantly recognizable and generally faithful to his comic appearance. It's not perfect though, the truck bed is a tad gappy, and then there's the obvious blue head on the top of the cab, but they're small issues. As for Roller, he resembles a remote-controlled off-roading vehicle, and it's super cool. Color-wise, both are very basic, and paint apps are limited to a few silver highlights here and there. However, there's plenty of surface detailing that can be brought out with the aid of a black marker. Also included is a generic blaster which can either peg into the top of Optimus's cab or Roller's roof. Personally, I favor the second option. Both vehicles roll well enough, and you can even connect them together like a train. Yeah, that sure is an exciting play feature. Transformation of the Autobot leader is, for lack of a better word, uneventful. It's entirely expected for an Optimus Prime toy and completely boring. Don't expect to find any neat engineering tricks here. On the other hand, it's not quite as disappointing as Roller's transformation, since, well, all he does is stand up. Yup. Prime stands at about 3.5 inches tall and looks great. There's a strong, heroic silhouette without much kibble to speak of. I love the open chest concept as well as the metallic blue painted hands, and I appreciate the suspension detailing used to fill in his hollow legs. The head sculpt is a bit narrow and the shoulder pads are too big, but overall, I'm digging the look of this robot. I suppose Roller's robot mode looks neat too, but for me, it's just hard to ignore that giant car strapped to his back. Now, thanks to a pair of pegs on the gun, both figures can wield it. Either way, it's underwhelming. Thankfully, in a very smooth and unique manner, Roller can transform into a double-barreled blaster. On top of that, he can then combine with the standard blaster to create one mean and aggressive firearm. My only issue is that it's just too big for Optimus and comes off as being a little silly. Almost like it was scaled for a larger toy. Optimus's posability is strange in that he has a lot, but it's not very usable. For starters, we'll look at the head. It's a nice swivel. And the neck joint actually has an up and down feature. The thing is, it doesn't lock anywhere, so more often than not, it's going to droop down, and that's pretty disappointing. The shoulders are interesting. They're on ball joints. They don't have really outward movement, but they do have this transformation gimmick where they go back and forth. Thankfully, you can open up the shoulder pad to get outward movement, so that's pretty cool. Ball jointed elbows and nothing at the wrist. But the thing with the shoulders is that they're directly connected to the windows here, and so every time you move them, the windows do too, and that's pretty annoying because I generally like to keep them like sort of half, like slightly open to reveal that Autobot logo, but whenever you move his arms around, they tend to go with it, and I just wish there was a locking mechanism. There is a upper torso swivel there, which is strange because it's not connected, or the bottom half is connected to the top half of this I guess back kibble section, so it does not move with the upper body, which is weird. And speaking of this upper back section, it doesn't peg into anything, so you kind of just have to hope through sheer force of will and friction that it'll stay there, but otherwise it might droop down. So that's a bit strange. Hips are on a ball joint, which is pretty cool, and there's also a ab crunch thanks to the transformation. Knees are on a ball joint, which give you the swivel and bend, but they're a less than 90-degree bend, so they're not really useful, and thanks to these pretty flat feet, there's not much you can do with that knee bend. I mean, sure, you can get him to sorta have a dynamic pose, but it's just so hard to balance him. I mean, this kind of just worked out of luck, but hey. So, yeah, articulation is pretty good for what he is. It's just a lot of... I just wish there was something else here, whether it be locking in points or just a little more playability with the feet. And just before I move on, Roller's articulation is basically just the arms go up and down. So there's that. It's pretty cool. But he does have this cool little tab here where you can just plug it into Optimus's hand, and now he can be like, hey, I'm a ventriloquist, check me out. So there's that neat little gimmick. To be brutally honest, Generations Optimus Prime and Autobot Roller are a boring pair of Transformers. Sure, they look neat in either mode, but their playability, whether that be transforming or posing, leaves a lot to be desired. Now, technically they do everything a Legends class Transformer should do, but with their upscaled size and a price point just shy of a deluxe class, I expected a whole lot more. In fact, it feels like this set started out life as a much bigger toy, which was then scaled down and had features removed to meet the requirements of a smaller package. The result isn't a bad product, it's just not a very good one. If you're still interested, I recommend picking these two up on a sale because at full price, they're just not worth it. Anyways, this has been Type V3 and thanks for watching. While I wasn't impressed by this set, the idea of Transformers toys based on the IDW comics still excites me, and I'll do my very best to support this endeavor.